Creating conversation by introducing you to new people. That's what it's all about. Arrow.net, ARROE.net. We are unplugged and totally uncut with Michelle Fugueroa.
Good morning, Michelle. Right off the top, to be with another positive person, that is such a great place to be.
Yes. There's no other way to be. You only have one life, right?
I'm so glad that you say that, but I'll tell you what, though. I've been challenged by, different corporate leaders and stuff like that being a positive person gets in their way. How do you make your way through the storms?
It's interesting you say that. I'm always reminded of my mother-in-law, who always said you get more with a spoonful of honey or sugar than vinegar. And anything in life, I think if you're kind, that will be more effective to the right people. If you're with the wrong people anyway, you don't want to be there. So don't worry about it. But I think kindness has proven to lead me the right way. And I think this movement is a byproduct of that, of always looking for the good, because I was a journalist looking for just any news. And what I saw was there was a lot more good than bad. And there were a lot more positive stories, but they weren't making broadcast. And so I thought, well, let me take this into my own hands and create my own platform where I'm my own news director and open up the gates to anyone who wants to send me their good news. And people send me messages of good news about every minute or so. I get a new message.
Oh, my God. We're so on the same plate here. And the reason why I say that is because you're right. I mean, as journalists, as broadcasters and stuff like that, we all know that bad news sells. And businesses want that money. But when you take control of the reins, all of a sudden things begin to grow in different directions. And people come to you as a way of receiving rather than taking away.
Exactly. And you've said it. I mean, news essentially is a business, and they're afraid of changing their formula. But it's funny because good news wasn't as in vogue as it is now. They've seen the success of good news movement and similar pages. And now you see, all the major networks with good news verticals. And I think it's wonderful. I think the more good news, and if I can make a little dent in that and so that there's more good news, it means more people are consuming positive things that motivate them and make them feel good. So I feel like it's a win-win situation that now good news is being more accepted, thankfully, finally. Because I hated getting rejected over and over.
Oh my God!
No one likes it.
You're so right. You're so right. So the good news movement. I mean, it can't be a one-person army because you can't be the department of one. What all is involved, and how can people participate with this?
Everyone and anyone can participate. And it's funny, the other day someone asked me how many people I have on my team, and I said 4.2 million, because essentially, now it's like cell phones. Well, there you have your technology. Back in the day, you would have to wait for the news crew to come with the cameras, but now people have cameras. They can film their own stories. So yes, anyone can send me good news. And sometimes people send me a video and they say, well, this doesn't seem newsworthy. And I said, well, did it make you smile? Did it make you cry? Is it good news to you? And they say, yes. And I said, send it. Send me anything. Because sometimes it's those simple moments. Like there was one viral video of a bus driver dancing with, she was a kindergartner, first grader. And it was just sweet. He took a minute out of his day to just dance with her before she got off the bus. And just those sweet, very human, very basic moments that are the ones that perform the best because they resonate the most with people. It comes down to just that feeling of being connected with one another.
Connected is a big word to me. And the reason why is because during the pandemic, during the lockdown, I needed to be with people. So what did I do? I went and got a job at a grocery store because I knew people were there. But one of the things that I have learned in being with people versus sitting inside of a studio all day is that you can look at someone and say, tell me something positive. And they will sit there and share their story. So really, when you talk about a good thing happened today, it starts with the art of listening, does it not?
Totally, 100%. You've got it. I love that you started to work at a supermarket. That's great. And yes, it starts with listening, and it starts with opening your eyes. Think about the amount of times we walk down the street thinking about the past or the future or on our phones and not really plugged into all the little good things that are happening, all the sweet things that are happening. Someone paying for a coffee for the person behind them, someone playing music at the park, all these little things that maybe could go unnoticed unless, like you say, we listen, we open our eyes and look around us. So I think that's really key. And that's my hope with the book too, is that people kind of open their eyes to all the good that there is. There's so much more good than bad.
Yeah, in the book we're talking to, and listeners need to understand this, and they need to get their hands on it. It's called A Good Thing Happened Today. How much does mindfulness play in this? Because you've got to be aware every step you take.
Absolutely. Yeah. Life can be tough, and there can be things that kind of take us off track. But I think, trying to stay in a place of gratitude for all the things we do have and how miraculous it is that we have the loved ones who we have in our lives. I mean, there's a ton of good news. It's just a matter of just switching that perspective a little bit.
Mm-hmm. My preacher yesterday, Stephen Furtick from Elevation, said one thing. He says, we spend too much time looking at our victories in the past, and we don't sit in the present to find the victory now. So isn't that what this book is all about? It's about, yes, find the happiness in your now.
Exactly. Yes, I think that's so key. And sometimes we kind of put things off, or we think there's a perfect time for things. And it's funny. My mom is from South America, from Colombia, where they don't really plan get-togethers. They just kind of show up at each other's places. And I love that. I love it. Just find the joy now. See, and I'm always an adventure seeker, and I'm looking for fun. And my family's always like, what are you up to now? But, there's so much out in the world to explore and to see, and just being open to it. And it's not, it's not that hard. It's just deciding to take a walk where you're not doing anything, but walking and observing for a little bit. How great is that?
Young adults and younger listeners are going to sit there. They didn't pick up on a website or anything like that while we were having this conversation, because they're more interested in what we're talking about. But where they need this, where can they grow? Not go, but where can they grow?
So, you mean the page online? Where can they find it?
Yeah, because people need to have this book. We need this book in our life right now. They need to have this as a tool, not just as a book. They need to have it as a tool.
You're very kind, and I'm very flattered. Yes, I think it's wonderful if they can get the book. They can go to Barnes & Noble, either online or basically as of tomorrow, anywhere where books are sold. It's a very bright cover with red font and a yellow sky. And I hope that they are inspired and motivated by the book, that they share it with friends, that they read it with friends and loved ones. And to me, this is the best news. If I can affect one person, I will feel like I succeeded. That's really my goal with both online on Good News Movement on Instagram, but also with the book, is to make people aware of all the good there is, and that they can be the good news. The good news isn't always happening to someone else, or it doesn't have to be monumental to be good news. No, I mean, you can create little seeds of good news wherever you go.
Absolutely. Michelle, please come back to the show anytime in the future. The door is always going to be open for you.
Oh, that's very kind. Well, I feel like I have a friend already, and hope everyone finds a lot of good news today. Tell me what you guys find.
You bet.
Message me.
You be brilliant today, okay?
Thank you so much.